Welcome back, folks. I am really pleased to be here on another one of Emmanuel's resources as we all come together to thrive, not just survive, hunkering down at home with everything around us going on in the world the way that it is. I'm Jennifer Knecht, Vice President of Marketing and Sales, and super excited to be here today with one of our senior living consultants for The Landing, our signature community in Lincoln, Nebraska. She's absolutely amazing. Welcome as a resource today, Debbie.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for inviting me, and thank you for that introduction.
Well, Debbie Pattison is absolutely a gem, and anyone who's had the opportunity to meet her, and I know that after you spend a couple minutes with her today, you will all agree with me how incredibly wonderful it is to have you in my life and have you on the team at Emmanuel. I know you help so many folks, you help so many people make the decisions of when is the right time for me to move into senior living, and sometimes make a joyous decision of, hey, I'm ready to move into a next chapter. Really pleased to have you as a resource with us today, Debbie. I gave a snippet of a background about you, only the fact that you're a senior living consultant at The Landing for Emmanuel. But I'd really love if you would share with us just a little bit more about your background and exactly what you do.
I would be happy to do that, Jennifer. My background is in insurance, but it has transferred and served me well in the role that I'm currently doing at Emmanuel and at The Landing, which I can't say enough about The Landing. It's been just a wonderful place for me. I enjoy meeting with people, and that's what I do primarily, meeting with them and helping them make the decision if they want to move, finding out about them, listening to them, being the resource in helping them find the right community. Of course, we always hope it's The Landing because The Landing is, we have the full continuum. We have so much here to offer, and especially during unprecedented times like we are in right now, The Landing has been a wonderful place for our residents. It's a wonderful place for our staff. And those are the things that I do and the things that I enjoy doing.
Well, Debbie, you alluded to it just a little bit, but give us just a little bit more about what is The Landing exactly. If I'm not familiar with The Landing at Williamsburg Village, it's one of the most beautiful retirement communities I've had the pleasure of stepping into, and just recently went through a massive renovation, so it's even more spectacular than it was 8, 9, 10, 12 months ago. So give us a little bit more about what is The Landing.
Oh my goodness, I could talk forever about The Landing. Yes, we did go through a renovation. It was time. The building is 20 years old. We all thought it looked great before we did the renovation, and now that the renovation is completed, oh my goodness, it's spectacular, absolutely spectacular. We redid the entire dining, as well as revamped our dining program. We redid we've got a bistro now, so we can offer our residents choices, a lot of different choices for their dining. The bistro is as absolutely cute as you would want it to, as you could imagine. It's inviting, it's light, it's airy, great colors, but great food. It's a gathering place, and all the residents, now that they've gotten used to it, that we've opened it, they just love it. It's a good place to meet a friend or even have a family member over for coffee. You can have breakfast, you can have lunch, you could even have dinner. And then of course we have the main dining, which I would invite anybody to come over. I'd be more than happy to show it because it is truly beautiful. There's many different areas on the dining floor. It's an entire floor. Each evening, the residents can decide where they want to sit. Of course, there's a full menu. They can decide just like a restaurant, a five-star restaurant. In fact, the menu selections are ones that I would say that anyone that couldn't find something that they like on that menu, well, I just can't imagine. They must not be food lovers because it's absolutely phenomenal. We redid some of the library. All of the Thrive area has been redone. So we have a lot to offer here. We have many options. It's a very beautiful space. It's very large. One of the best things, and because we are nonprofit too, I want to mention that that all of the resources for this building go right back into this building. It's a wonderful thing for our residents. Again, it's not for profit, which you will hear a lot when you hear about Emmanuel, but all of these things really, really play true. And when you see the beautiful space, if you have the opportunity to meet some of our wonderful residents, it's a true community in the best sense. And I am so blessed to work here.
And likewise, truly, I mean, we're very blessed to have you on the team. And I know that any of the folks that you've had the opportunity to meet with and help guide them through the process of moving in and making the right choice, making the choice at the landing, I guarantee that they would second absolutely wholeheartedly that it was a great experience with you helping to lead the charge. And, you know, I just wanted to circle back on the notion of the nonprofit. So Emmanuel's very, very proud of the fact. In fact, we're humbled, not just proud, but very humbled as well to be in Christ-centered service to seniors, each other, and the community. And at moments like this, at this moment when we've been dealt really something that's truly unprecedented. I can certainly say that nobody has lived through a global pandemic like what we are experiencing right now. And I'm sure there's a lot of fear. I mean, there are lots of emotions that we're all experiencing right now. And if you haven't had the opportunity, check through some of these resources that you find here on this very page. We did a great show, a great resource show with Pastor Peggy Hall, who is our Vice President of Spiritual Support and Mission Care at Emmanuel. And she's just an extraordinary individual. But we talked a lot about the emotions, the fear, the things that we're all feeling right now when we're in the middle of something that's completely unprecedented. And you turn the television on, you see, you know, it's completely surrounding us. And for those of us who are working in the field of healthcare, working in the field of caring for other folks, just like Emmanuel, everyone at Emmanuel, you know, it's even more prevalent for us because we're so focused on making sure that not only our residents and our participants and each other, that we're all safe, but that we're also able to give some support back out into the community, which is exactly what we're doing with this resource hub. But Debbie, you speak to a lot of seniors, and I'm sure that you've heard many, many stories, both your residents and then folks in the community at large throughout the Lincoln area. What are some of the fears or some of the challenges that you see commonly that they're facing right now?
Well, Jennifer, you mentioned one, and probably the one that I'm most aware of from the residents as I see them in our hallways, fear of the unknown. And with the COVID-19, at the present time, there's not an antidote. We don't know how long it's going to last. I had a resident say just today, if we only knew that it would be over with in a couple of months, it would be so much better. But we don't know. None of us know, and there is that constant fear because we are challenged every day. Just as you say, we read it, we breathe it, we're in it, and those are the things that people, general, and certainly our residents here, and the ones I've talked to, they're afraid to make some decisions that they normally would just have no problem whatsoever in making. It's because of the pandemic, and it's because of they don't know what is right ahead, as none of us do.
You and I were chatting before we started this, and we were talking about the concept of bravery. We've all been, each individual, really every individual in the world right now has been sort of jolted into, forced into stepping into some sort of bravery, stepping into maybe really what is their sense of being brave, stepping into or getting forced into having to find a way to move forward one footstep at a time, even with all of that uncertainty. Pastor Peggy has shared with us a lot of really great, and if you haven't, folks, hop on and check out the Hope Hotline. She's sharing these wonderful messages every day, messages of inspiration. I just had to share this one because it really, I think, speaks to the idea of being brave. And of course, we've just come out of the Easter season, and as a nonprofit organization that was founded by a pastor, I just had to share this with everybody at large. Even if you are not a Christian, I'm sure at some point or somewhere in your soul, you have some sort of sense of spirit or some sort of sense of connection. And I think this is actually really profound and speaks to the idea of being brave and also speaks to the idea of uncertainty and fear. Her words were, there's nothing to fear. Nothing. Not a pandemic, not defeat, not threat. not loss, not sickness, not even death. The resurrection of Jesus assures us that at the end, and in the end, all shall be well. And all shall be well, and every manner of being shall be well. And if it isn't well, then it is not the end. I think that's kind of a really wonderful jumping off point as we move from, how we're all feeling right now, which is perhaps a sense of anxiety or stress or fear or just, uncertainty about the future, as you mentioned. But there are a lot of amazing things going on in the world around us to support each other, to support one another. A lot of great businesses stepping up that are supporting our seniors throughout all the communities in which Emmanuel serves, especially in Lincoln. I'd love for you to share with folks some of the different ways that you've seen businesses really rise to the challenge to help our senior population.
Be happy to, Jennifer. And I'm very, very proud of Lincoln, Nebraska, in that one of our leading supermarkets, grocery stores, Hy-Vee, they have actually started to have special senior hours. They're early in the morning, 7 to 8, but during that time frame, you have to be a senior to be able to go in and shop during that. They're also now, because that's been so popular, they're also offering free full-service fueling at their gas stations. Well, I think that's wonderful. I didn't think probably much about putting gas in my car until this virus hit, and now I'm thinking anywhere that you could get germs, that's not a good thing. But Hy-Vee will actually do full service fueling at their gas stations, which I think is really good. Church services, I'm sure all of you have your regular churches now doing it virtually, which at first, just speaking from my own perspective, I thought, how can that work? That's not going to be the same as being around a lot of people, feeling their energy. Certainly, I know the pastor of our churches, he could just draw us in. I thought, how can that be possible to go to church virtually? Well, I was wrong. It's wonderful. The church services that the churches all over Lincoln are doing now, it's with music. It's with a different sense almost of community in that they know that people have apprehension about not being able to go to their regular church and sitting at home and watching it over a computer or listening to it. But it's all coming together, and people are embracing it. They feel good about it. And again, it's that sense of community that pulls us together. Local restaurants are offering fully prepared meals for curbside pickup or delivery. Again, I thought without the ambiance in the restaurant, it would not be the same. It'd still be the same food, but not the same. But it works out great. Libraries, our Lincoln City libraries, seniors can check out books online, or they can call a library personnel and then go to the library for curbside pickup. So again, reading, if you're a reading enthusiast, this is the perfect way to get books and stay in tune and enjoy that when you're at home. Social distancing outside art exhibits. We've got a it's called Friday Night Art Exhibits downtown Lincoln. And I thought, well, that's something in the springtime it's always good to look forward to. They're allowing and doing drive-by galleries. You can stay in your car, you can see the art on the sidewalks, and you can even purchase the art by making a curbside sale. So again, all different kinds of things that the community is doing and utilizing technology to be able to do it. Live stream events, astronomy at home. The Mueller Planetarium, you can go online to see pre-recorded videos, and then actually in the early evening or morning, you can go out and watch them in your own backyard, which I think would be so fun. There's a whole website that I'd be happy to give, but I won't do that right now. There's the Wildlife Safari Park near Ashland that's open each day from 9 to 5, Monday through Sunday. You can stay in your car, experience a drive-through safari, see live animals from the safety of your car. And another thing that I didn't even think about, but Brian and CHI, most of the providers, health providers now, are so busy with those people that are showing any evidence or testing for the coronavirus. It's hard for them to see patients the way it used to be. And of course, they don't want anyone with any suspect of being ill being with patients that are completely well. So they're providing telemedicine. And patients can actually make appointments with their own doctor and do a video conference. So it's almost just the same as being there. It's being very well received and something that I would imagine will be utilized far beyond just this time we're in. And these are just a few of the things that I can mention.
Folks, we'll be sure to link to all of these right here on this resource page and include that in the downloadable tip sheet that we have for you, so you can download it, save it, and take it with you if you decide you want to go somewhere with it. You know, it's funny, Debbie, we were just chatting about well, it's almost spring. It seems like it's back and forth. We're in Nebraska, so the weather kind of likes to tease us a little, right?
Yes, definitely.
But it's funny that right now we're being given all these great opportunities. I mean, some of these things, I don't think that we're going to want to go back to the regular way that we enjoyed life. But we're also learning collectively as people, and especially as Nebraskans, as Iowans, that there are great ways in which we could be enriched and in which we can enjoy being at home, even if we get snowed in during the wintertime. So maybe some of these things that we're learning today, which it's April, May, June, you know, these kind of months, we're hoping that's going to get warmer, we can carry that into next fall, next winter, when it gets a little bit more difficult to get out and about. And you know, there are some really neat delivery options. I know you mentioned curbside pickup for restaurants and that sort of thing, but I think there's some really neat delivery options that are now available and much, much easier than you might imagine in helping you get your groceries or any of your pharmaceuticals or anything that you might need from that perspective. Would you share with folks what's going on in Lincoln to support, you know, somebody who just wants to hunker down at home and not have to deal with going out or not have to risk going out amongst everybody right now?
Well, Lincoln, again, has really stepped up to do just that very thing, especially for seniors, Jennifer. The grocery stores now are always all doing a delivery or curbside delivery. As far as for the pharmaceutical drugs that people need for every day, you can actually pick those up, or they will deliver them directly to your home and leave them on your doorstep. So no contact with anybody has to take place. Anything pretty much can be ordered and delivered, which we used to not be able to do it, or there'd be a huge surcharge, but businesses have really come together to promote what they do and make it easy enough that seniors feel comfortable in either calling in or even ordering online.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And you and I were chatting, you know, even before all this happened, I knew that it was available. I knew that you could get groceries delivered to your front doorstep, but I didn't ever take advantage of how that all worked. Now I've worked out the kinks. It's funny, my in-laws, same thing. They knew that it was available, and they're both in their 70s. They don't live in this state, but they knew it was available, and they just hadn't tried to work out the kinks. And now they've completely worked out and have tested multiple different delivery options to their door. They found their favorite one, the one that's the easiest to navigate online for them and the easiest for them to order every grocery that they could possibly need or any dry good that they could possibly want. And they're just happy as can be, hunkered down and not having to go out and risk contact with anybody right now. Some of the good things that are coming out of all this. I know that Emmanuel Communities has done some amazing things to help support our residents, even though, you know, some of the congregant activities, the dining, of course, in our venues, those types of things have all closed down, and just to proactively protect the safety of every individual that we serve and also that works with us. But what are some of the great stories? I'm sure you have some really fun stories of ways in which your residents are engaging with one another, or ways in which Emmanuel Communities and the Landing in particular is wrapping around its residents to make this time when we're trying to socially distance ourselves from each other still still laced with the sense of community that is so important to Emmanuel and to each other?
Well, the landing has done many things. First and foremost, I like to always mention is the communication, because communication is so vital under normal circumstances. Certainly during something like a pandemic, our executive director every single day does what we have. It's called a one call, which will go to all of our residents and all of our residents' families that wish to be on that call list. But he will give a daily update of what is going on within this community. He re-emphasizes some of the things that he has told the residents, but in different ways, so that maybe they can see themselves. They can certainly go out in the hallways, but we ask that they maintain the 6-foot social distancing. And he would say you might have gathering spots that people like to visit, because that is one of the benefits of being in a community. It's certainly a benefit during a pandemic. So he'll give the status of where we are on each day on a phone call, and also by written communication. So they can keep that if they want, but everyone is fully apprised of everything that's going on in this community. That has been probably the single most impactful thing that has happened at the landing, that during this time of fear and this time of uncertainty, he has been the one to bring it together to the residents and to the staff in saying exactly where we are on a daily basis. So for that, I think, and I think all the Emmanuel communities are doing that very same thing. For the landing, it's been tremendous. The staff has had fun things, though, as you mentioned, Jennifer. We actually passed out some popcorn yesterday, of course, going down the halls, not knocking on doors, but leaving a surprise on their shelf outside their apartment. And it was popcorn with a little note on it that said, just pop it in because no one's better than you. And the residents really liked it. Several commented later. Of course, we talk with our mask on when we see them, but again, it's that thing that I had a lady, one of our residents, tell me this morning that she enjoys the Wednesday treats, but she is so happy, most of all, that she is here, because she said, when I get lonely or I'm afraid and I think, oh my gosh, what's this going to be? She said, I know my neighbor right next door feels the same way, and if I want to call her, I can call her. And that John makes us or has us have an update every day, so I know what's going on. So those are some of the good things too. People forget their mask occasionally, and you can see people. They'll come out of their apartment, then they'll go back in, they'll get their mask, and they come back out, because we're all wearing masks now. It's for the safety of our residents. The residents know that. They are also wearing masks, and they've done that on their own. They weren't really asked to wear them, but they have embraced this time. Activities, we've got, again, maintaining social distancing. Our lifestyle director has numerous different activities, all kinds of things. You can access the brand new Emmanuel website, Jennifer, that you alluded to. It's fabulous. It's got so many different things, both from exercising to well-being things and activities. I love the mason jar challenge, and that's not something that often there are things that I know I need to do. I think it'd be fun actually to be home and be doing some of those things. Of course, I can't do it at work. But anyway, it's just a really very, very nice information piece. The Thrive staff, they've made exercise classes available online, so residents can be in their apartments and still exercise, and their whole routines. It's not just a squat here and then something else here. It's an actual whole routine with music. So they've gone to a lot of effort to get these put together. We do have our Pastor Renee is doing phone devotions on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Residents can dial into a Zoom meeting and hear Pastor Renee give messages of scripture, of devotional thoughts, singing. and connecting in the love of Christ. We're so thankful for her for doing those, and that's both for residents and staff. We send notes of encouragement and caring from the staff to the residents. Residents are sending them to each other. Again, that sense of community that is so strong here, and that's what's making them all be able to get through the difficult times. And we're all wearing personal protective equipment, and it's all for the protection of our residents.
No better time than now to live at the Landing. Even though you can't partake in everything to the fullest extent that the Landing offers, you still have the safety and security and a lot of really great things that are wrapping around you, and activities and events and things to kind of, take your mind off of the subject that we're hearing over and over, which is COVID-19.
Yes.
Things so that you can shut the news off and maybe lessen your stress a little bit so you're not watching about COVID-19. Folks, you out there, though, I would invite anyone out in the community at large. Emmanuel has a whole host of senior experts. We've been doing this for more than 132 years. We've been serving in the communities in which we serve, and we are so incredibly humbled to have lots and lots of experience. We've helped thousands of people just generally connect. And I think that there's no better time than maybe this moment. If you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling like you just need a conversation, I guarantee just give Debbie a call at the Landing, and all that contact information is right here on this very resource page, web page. But give Debbie a call because she'd be happy to chat with you. And she's chatted with thousands of families and people and helping them move it through the process of selecting the right retirement community in the Landing.
I'd love to talk to any of you.
And anyone who talks to you, I know you'll brighten their day and give them a little bit of pep in their step. Debbie, this has been absolutely spectacular. I appreciate you sharing all the great resources. A big shout out to the businesses out there in Lincoln that are really, truly stepping up to the plate to help our seniors, to help the community, to help us come together at this moment when we're all trying to figure out how to hunker down to home. We will be back again with a whole bunch more resources for you. So don't miss out. If you want to test out shopping online, you haven't done that, we've got that information right here on this very web page. And if you just need somebody to talk to, like I mentioned, Debbie and her colleagues at the Landing would be happy to chat with you right there in Lincoln. One big additional shout out to all of the Emmanuel team members and to all of the other healthcare, the brave healthcare team workers that are out there that are help supporting us through this moment, this unprecedented time in history, as we're all coming together, even though we're far apart from one another, but we're all coming together to try to stop the spread of COVID-19. Folks, I hope that you have a really wonderful day, that you join us again for another resource. We'll be back again. See you soon.